Kid Slogan. Today I have something really cool. Today I have something really cool to show you guys. I had recently purchased this book right here. It is called The Little Book of Answers: The How, Where, and Why of Stuff You Thought You Knew. I love reading, and I haven't read books in a while, and it was one of my New Year's resolutions to get back in the game of reading. But I didn't want to just read fictional stories. Not that there's anything wrong with fictional stories, but I wanted to read actual factual knowledge that rhymes. And I got this book. And it's bargain priced, so that's good. $6.98, yeah. Even though knowledge should be free. Now that I have all this knowledge in my cranium, I thought I would share with you guys, because that's what you do with knowledge. You share with the world. So here are 10 phrases that I thought were really interesting, that I thought were really cool about their origins. So here we go. Let's get started. Learn me something, because knowledge is awesome! If you are a girl, you might have called a guy a male chauvinist pig, and if you're a guy, you might have been called that. The word chauvinism originally meant excessive patriotism, and it came from the French general Nicolas Chauvin, who was extremely devoted to Napoleon. Male chauvinism became a term for a man who was preoccupied with masculine pursuits in the 1950s, and the word pig, which was a slur for policemen, came from women during their movement in the 1970s. So there you go. Male chauvinist pig. A slang term for a prostitute is a hooker, and the reason why we call them hookers is because in 1845 there was a reference to a little area in New York City called the Hook, and many ladies of the night could be found there, and they were soon called hookers. When someone has a hidden agenda, we say that they have an axe to grind. This term comes from Benjamin Franklin. When he was just a wee little boy, he was sharpening tools in his father's backyard. And then a stranger comes with a big ol' axe, and then he was praising Franklin how good he was with the grindstone. He was like, "You, young man, are so fabulous at grinding tools and such. Could you show me how to sharpen my axe?" And so Benjamin was like, "Sure, why not?" So Benjamin so kindly sharpened this stranger's axe for him. And when Benjamin was done, the stranger just laughed and walked away. So rude of him. This taught young Franklin a lesson about people who have an axe to grind. That stranger was just really lazy. Or in other words, we can say he was shiftless. We call a lazy, irresponsible person shiftless. The word shift means to change or rearrange, which is why the workers who work different block times are called shift workers. The word shift also applies to the individual's ability to adapt and change with the times. So therefore, if you are shiftless, that means you lack the initiative to adapt with the circumstances. But on the other hand, if you are shifty, that means you're too adept to change and you probably can't be trusted. A rookie is anyone who is new to an organization that requires teamwork and stuff, and their lack of experience may or may not cause problems and errors. The term rookie came across in the American military during the Civil War, when the untrained soldiers would rush out into battle and cause lots of problems for the veterans. So these veterans decided to call these new untrained soldiers recruits, and they called them reckies, which was an abbreviation of recruits, and somehow, somewhere along the line, reckies became rookies. So, recruits, reckies, rookies. So there! Rookies! So speaking of being new and untrained, in terms of college that is, a new student is called a freshman, and then the second year student is called a sophomore. So second year college students have been called sophomores ever since the term came about in Cambridge in 1866. 1688. Yeah. The word sophomore is constructed from Greek words sophos and moros. Sophos means wise and moros means foolish, which is kind of, contradicting each other, but I guess that's the point, because sophomore means in between the foolish years and the wise years. So technically, a second-year student is in between ignorance and wisdom. Similarly, when we say something is sophomoric, we say it is either pretentious or foolish. Speaking of college, I'm pretty sure every single one of you has heard about Ivy League. You know, where all the smart people go. Harvard, Princeton, Yale. You heard me? Well, the term Ivy League has nothing to do with the ivy-colored walls of these prestigious schools. There were 4 schools in the East Coast of the United States: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Columbia, and they were collectively known as the Interscholastic Four. But the 4 was written in Roman numerals, IV. By the end of World War II, there were more schools added, like Brown, Cornell, and Dartmouth, and they added up to be 8. And even though then there was 8, they decided to keep the name IV, but instead of using Roman numerals, they decided to spell it like the way it was pronounced, and now it became known as Ivy League. So most men call their wives their better halves, mostly because they believe it, and also because women are awesome. Girls rule, boys stink. Just kidding. But this phrase comes from a Middle Eastern legend. There was once a Bedouin man who had been sentenced to death. But his wife begged and pleaded with the tribal leader, stating that they can't kill him because when her and her husband had been married, they had become one. And to punish one would to be punishing the innocent one, herself. And therefore, the court had agreed and set the man free. And therefore, the man was saved by his better half. You are welcome, men of the world. The things we do for you, making sandwiches, saving your life. You guys are lucky to have us. When someone wins, without a doubt and without a question, it is said that they win hands down. To win hands down has nothing to do with winning cards face down on a table. It actually comes from horse races. If a horse had proven its superiority and was way ahead of the lead towards the finish line, the jockey, the guy riding the horse, would let go of the reins and let the animal go towards the finish line, and therefore the jockey would win hands down. Pretty cool, huh? If I was on a horse, I would never let go of the reins. I just talked about somebody winning, but now I'd like to talk about somebody failing at something, which is not very nice, but So when somebody can't do something right, we give them the insult, couldn't even hold a candle. I'm totally holding a candle right now. This derogatory expression comes from the 16th century. So before electricity, experienced workers would have an apprentice hold a candle so they can see when they do their really cool and interesting work at whatever they did. Holding a candle was a really big honor because it gave them the ability to learn and watch what they do. But if they couldn't even do that properly, it was said that he couldn't even hold the candle, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. And if you did, share with the world, tell your parents and your friends and your Uncle Bob. I'm sure your Uncle Bob would appreciate this new knowledge. And if you have something cool that maybe I don't know, put it in the comments below because I would love to learn. I want my cranium to be big and full of information. Doesn't matter how useless. I may do more of these. I don't know. It was really fun to film. That is it for this video. I will see you guys sometime soon. Well, I won't see you. You'll see me. But yeah. Alright. Bye. Love you. Mwah! I'm going to have to apologize about the glare in my glasses. Maybe I should wear sunglasses. Yeah. No. I feel like Mystery Guitar Man. Except I have no musical talents whatsoever.